Hello sunshines, welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on all of the internet places, and this is a project vlog of sorts. I recorded a video which I will link in the show notes and up here, enumerating a challenge that I have for myself. It's a summer bucket stash down. Nope. Summer basket stash down challenge. And I have a goal to use up all of the yarns, except one skein, that I have brought into my stash since the beginning of the year, because I had a goal at the beginning of the year that if I brought yarn in, I wanted it to be used up. And I have decided that I want to completely use up those skeins. So right now it's April 25th. I know it's not quite summer yet, but whatever. In my teacher brain, it's pre-summer. It's like summer planning stuff. So one of the yarns I have is this right here. It's a Nooch fiber. It's 100% superwash merino. I made a pair of socks for one of my students out of it. It is not a yarn I bought this year. It's deep stash, but I still kind of want to use it up all the way by the end of summer. So I have started doing that. And here it is. I'm not going to check in every step of the way about every single yarn, but I do think I'm going to check in here and there about things. And what I really want to do is, at the end of the video, probably, I am going to put a little collage of the things that I make using the yarn. So a pair of socks, a shorty sock, like those are my goals for the full skein, not necessarily for this one. I already made the socks out of that. And I don't know if I'm going to have enough for a shorty sock. I think I'm going to try though. But then also all of the little bits. So right now I'm making an African flower with this. I also want to put it in my mitered square blanket. I might want to put it in my bias strip in nor'easterly. I think I do want to put it in both places. So you'll see that at the end. And I will probably be checking in along the way a little bit about certain things. Hello, sunshines. It is Wednesday, the 29th of April, and I finished the first, what is this called? Thank you for taking what I just said earlier and shouting it at me. Sock. And instead of casting on the second one, I cast on the Empire shorty sock that I want to work on, because the skein is closer to being finished than that skein is, and I felt like I needed the shorty. So I feel like this will be pretty typical for this vlog, you seeing me work one sock and then go to a different sock of a different pair. That's pretty typical to how I operate. It's Tuesday, the 5th of May, and I have finished the first sock of the project. So this shorty is for me, and it fits very, very well. It doesn't slide down. The length is good. So I am going to give some of my old shorties. I feel very pleased about that. It's about 6 p.m. I finished the knitting of this yesterday, but had to Kitchener today, obviously, and haven't sewn in the end. But I did cast on the second of the Rye light socks. I am through the cuff, and I need to set up my markers so that I can have this be my work knitting for the rest of the week. I need the second sock finished Hold on. I need this second sock finished in the next 8 days in order to be able to block both socks, which I don't do all the time, but for presents I like to do because it just makes them look nice. So I have plenty of time. 8 days is a lot for a sock that is this not complicated. I'll be able to work on it at work as I'm walking around the classroom because it's a fairly straightforward pattern. But right now, I am going to try to work this into all of my scrappy blankets. I don't know if I can do that tonight. I don't know if I can do this whole ball. It's kind of big still. I don't have a scale, so I don't know, but I would estimate somewhere between 20 and 25 grams is what it feels like. It's what my gut's telling me. So wish me luck. Hello, sunshines. It's the 16th of May, and at this point I have worked I have worked this nugget into all of my scrappy blankets except 2. I have not yet put it in the nor'easterly or the jelly roll inspired blanket. And I don't think. I am going to put it next to, I'm going to start a new strip. There we go. The words have happened. I'm going to start a new strip because I kind of want a strip in my nor'easterly that, not that it's going to only be yarns from 2026, but I want it to, at least the start of the strip is going to be my 2026 yarns. I think that'll be a fun thing to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. As you can see, I have to start with a provisional cast on. And I had these flowers. This is the blanket for my littlest for graduation. And I was using loops and threads. I don't know. Was this impeccable? I don't remember. No. Wool-like. This was wool-like. And it's a fingering weight. And I got it thinking, oh, maybe acrylic socks. But then I thought about that more and I was like, no, I definitely don't want to do that. And then I was like, oh, I could use it for the blanket. But I only ever bought 1 or 2 skeins. So that wasn't really going to work. So now I'm using it as my provisional cast on. And also my little monster that I'm using to hold my yarn ends. She's just sitting on the shelf. Or he. It could be, I don't know. They're sitting on the shelf without any eyes. So since I was pulling out this yarn anyway to start a new provisional cast on section for a strip in the blanket, I figured I could put eyes on my poor little monster who's sitting there eyeless. And then they can keep watch of all of my yarny goodness. Whatever, I'm being a weirdo. Anyway, I'm going to start a new strip so that I can work these scrappy bits into this blanket. This ball of cattails yarn was not originally part of the summer basket project, but I'm going to use it in the project because it is leftover yarn from this year. I used it to make a pair of mittens for myself. It's so beautiful. I love it so much, and I want it to be in my scrappy projects. So I'm also adding it to my mental list, though not the physical list, of yarns that I want to work up. It's Saturday, the 17th of May, and I have put this nugget into all of my scrappy blankets except the jelly roll inspired blanket. So I am going to do that. I wonder if this is enough yarn to finish off my strip or not. Hey sunshines, it's May 19th and look at that. I finished the shorty and I finished the yarn by working it into a bunch of projects tonight. So now it's in all of my blankets and it just feels so nice to have my first official yarn used up from my challenge. The challenge felt really, really daunting, but now it feels pretty doable actually. I did start a new sock project, which I will show you, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. It is the Fibernymph Dyeworks Luna Moth. It's my new pocket knitting. It is at school where I knit from my pocket. So I'll try to remember to show it to you, but I did start that. So yay. I'm really trying to work through these yarns that I acquired. I know this is like such a, of course it is, comment, but it's so fast to knit up DK weight socks. It's almost 5 a.m. on Thursday. And I cast this on yesterday, literally right before school. Put maybe 2 stitches on it just so that it would be joined in the round before school. And I did this since yesterday. That's almost a whole leg without trying. It's so fast. And also this colorway from Fibernymph Dyeworks is just gorgeous. It's the, sorry, as I said, it's 5 a.m. This is my first talking of the day. It is the Luna Moth colorway by Fibernymph Dyeworks, and it's so cute. I am not using a pattern. However, I am like doing a patterned-ish sock. The main color I'm knitting in stockinette, and then the stripes I am purling, so reverse stockinette. And it just gives it little fun texture. But obviously the green stripes are very, very wide, so it's mostly just stockinette, which is perfect for pocket knitting, but not fun for my real life, as we've established before. Hello, sunshines. It is Saturday the 23rd of May, and I have been making really good progress on this summer sock basket challenge. That's what it's actually called. I've called it like so many things in this video. I just edited what I had already. I've done so great. I finished 2 shorties so far this month. I finished a pair of socks this month, like a pair of full-length socks. And I knit I've knit 2 of the yarns from the challenge completely into blankets, and then I knit another leftover from a sock project that was not part of the basket, but I did finish during this time. I knit that completely in. I'm just feeling really good about this project and progress. So let me show you. I am currently working on 2 socks. Okay, technically it's 3 socks. Anyway, the first one I have Fibernymph Dyeworks, the Luna Moth colorway on Strong DK, and the first sock is nearly through the gusset, which is cool. You might remember that I made another DK weight Fibernymph Dyeworks sock for my best friend. Well, I made it a little too tight. I guess my gauge has tightened up a little, at least for DK weight socks. So I'm making this one a little bit less snug, 4 more stitches. So we'll see if she can wear this one. I also made sure to go up to a big hook size, a size H to cast on. I like to do a crocheted cast on for pretty much everything. if I can do a crocheted cast on, if it makes sense, I'm doing a crocheted cast on. And I think it looks fine. But a size H hook is pretty big, so it seems very stretchy. Hopefully it'll fit her. We'll see. If not, I will just make her fingering weight socks only and not try to do DK weight for her. So yeah, that's the first sock I have going. I kind of want to finish this really, really quickly because I'm going to see her soon. So I don't know. The other two socks I have are 716 knit, 716 knot, nope, 716 sock in the Pam's a Trans Ram colorway. I made a coworker pair of socks out of this yarn. I bought 2 skeins because I thought they wanted full length socks, but then they just wanted shorties. And this is what I was able to make out of the leftover of the first skein of yarn. And this is the sock I started using the second skein of yarn. I am in the heel. This is my car knitting, so I've brought it in the house so I can do the heel and pick up the gusset stitches and then put it back in my car for when I get stuck by the train, or if one of my kids needs to run in a store really quick or something. This just lives in my car. This will also go back to living in my car after this one's finished. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. So I'm not actually making a pair of socks that go together out of this yarn. This sock is from my oldest kiddo. I think it's a 72 stitch count sock. Somewhere around there, 68, 72, something like that. I don't know. I started this one forever ago. Not really, but too long to remember. And it's a 2x2 rib. And then this one is for my littlest, and it's a 56 stitch sock. It has ribbing at the top, but then it's just stockinette down the leg, and it will be a stockinette foot. And then I'm going to make myself a shorty out of it. But that's where I am right now for my progress on this project. I am super, super excited to see how far I get for the rest of the month of May and then over the summer, because I only have 5 projects lined up officially for this challenge, and I have all of June, July, and August to do it, and my stretch goal skein. I think I need another stretch goal. Okay, new stretch goal. I have these Haverland minis from Franken sock sets that I pulled out just the greens. So I have this. If I make it through all 5 of those, then I have these 2 stretch goal things to use, because this was left in the basket from last year. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good about getting through all 7 of these skeins, plus the 2 skeins that I'm currently working on. I really think that that's pretty doable. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Are you knitting socks this summer? I know someone said that they were saving their sock yarn for Socktober, which I love. I just happen to have an abundance of sock yarn, so I do socks all year. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to our next update. Let's see how this goes. I will be finishing the, what is that? Black Aja from Cattails Yarns. I will be finishing that mini tonight. So I will put a picture of that at the end of this video. And I'm super excited. Lies, it was going to be a photo, but I just think it's too pretty to not share. The entirety of this skein, there is a little teeny bit left, but not enough to get back across the row, and I don't feel like attaching a new yarn, so there we go. That is how far we are on the scrap basket, and not scrap basket, whatever. You guys know that I can't say the name of my own challenge by this point, I believe. Oh, sorry. I had a look through my finished object photos just to see if there was other yarn kicking around that I had from other projects, and there's not. I've been really, really good about using up anything that I've brought in its entirety. The only things that I haven't used in their entirety are white or cream scraps from the baby blankets. And that's it. All of my fancy yarns have been used up. Oh, and the purple from the baby blanket. But that is going to go into my youngest blanket. Maybe the next yarn that I put in, maybe one more yarn before I use that one. But I've been doing so good at not just letting leftovers sit around, because I do love having my scrap stash. It's beautiful. However, it's also really nice to have those being worked into things and not just sitting around taking up space. So anyway, thank you for joining me for this challenge, and for real now, I'm gonna go. Bye for now, friends.